It's a new spy thriller by Daniel Silva. It takes on Russia mirroring the real-world events that are kind of going on right now. The Other Woman is set against the Cold War, that's happening and being perpetrated by Russia. Here with more is New York Times best-selling author Daniel Silva. It's great having you, Daniel. How are you, my friend?
Hi there. How are you guys?
Doing very well. We have your book here at the station. This novel, I mean, it could not have been released at a more apropos time. My goodness. Incredibly topical. Yeah, you got the Russian meddling.
You know, I want to thank Russian meddling, new Cold War, Russian attempt to destabilize the NATO alliance, the special relationship between the United States and Great Britain. It all came to pass. It didn't happen exactly the way I laid it out in my novel.
Yeah.
But it certainly is very timely.
Do you have at the back of the book is the final page, "Thank you, Vladimir"? Because really, it's like you did help a lot.
Yeah, well,
co-penned.
Thank you, Vladimir, as a novelist who's you know, promoting a book this week. He has taken enormous steps and great effort to try to undermine the West.
Yeah.
And I'm afraid he's succeeding.
It certainly seems like it. I'm curious, as a fiction writer, were you the first one to really kind of notice that maybe Vladimir Putin and the new Russia, they were going to be a problem for the West?
You know, I wrote a book in 2008 called Moscow Rules, and it was, you know, the first thriller, first piece of fiction that really identified the new Russians as villainous characters, and it wasn't something I did on a lark. I spent a lot of time in Russia. I spoke to journalists and members of the Russian opposition to get a sense of what was going on then, and I really came to the conclusion that Vladimir Putin was a malevolent actor, a malevolent force in the world, and that we were going to have problems with him down the road, and that turned out to be the case.
Go figure. Remember, in the 2012 election, Mitt Romney had mentioned that Russia would be one of our fiercest foes.
He did.
And it was a big laugh track as soon as he said it, and turns out he might have been right.
Well, I mean, President Obama ridiculed him to his face and accused him of having sort of an outmoded view of the world. And Mitt Romney was correct. And suddenly now, 4 or 5 years later, the rest of the Democratic Party sees Russia as a strategic threat to the United States. Some of that is for political reasons.
Of course.
But Mitt Romney was correct. And the Democrats are the ones who really now are the hawks when it comes to Russia.
Well, you're being mentioned on Capitol Hill, and let's talk about this book. I mean, this is The Other Woman. Give us the premise. Why should we read this book?
You should read this book because it has already been called a instant classic. One of the greatest spy novels ever written. It is a quest for a Russian mole that has been inserted into the highest ranks of Western intelligence. A very Cold War style novel that I've done. It's set in the present, but it really does have the feel of an old Cold War spy novel. It's a work of entertainment, but it does really address what is going on in the world today, and what it does fictionally is that it points out that the new Russia of Vladimir Putin is very much like the old Soviet Union of Lenin and Stalin, and the kind of tactics that they used to try to divide the West and further Russian interests.
Well, it's retro. Like all the '80s stuff is coming back, the Cold War stuff's coming back. It's crazy. It's retro. It goes in and out of style. Daniel, congratulations on the book. Incredibly proud of you, and best of luck with those ¡2 pencils.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'll send you a box.
I can't wait. I need some Ticonderogas around this part. I have a test. I have to bubble in the circles. Pick up your copy of The Other Woman by Daniel Silva. It's at the website you see right there on your screen. HarperCollins publisher, proud sponsor of The Morning Blend.